Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ginger's Love Live. I'm going to give people a moment to jump in. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll step up here. I don't get my other device. One moment. I'll be right back. One moment. Okay, I am back. Again, welcome to Ginger's Love Live, where we focus on embodying love, purpose, and personal growth. Tonight, I have a special guest, Robert Kendall. He will be joining me on a discussion about powering through life, self-worth, also powering through life, self-worth, and authentic love. And I'm going to bring you on here. Okay. Try to send me a request. It said that I couldn't add you due to you having technical issues. I can try again, though. Okay. It seems like it's letting me add you now.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
what's up, classmate?
What's up? Okay,
I
we
can't
are on.
call it.
I can hear you. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you
Okay,
perfectly
good,
fine.
good. So thank you for joining me tonight. I'm excited about our discussion. Maybe at the end,
Well, I'm
well,
glad to be here.
good. Maybe at the end you can give us a little tune of 1, 2, a little 1, 2. Oh, okay, so I want to jump right in here. Just start off, Robert Man Kendall. Give me a little bit about yourself. Tell us about you.
Robert Kendall, of course, from Newport, Arkansas. Got a birthday up. I'll be 47 years old. So I'm a Newport native. Been married for 19 years. Been in a relationship for 25 years. I
Okay,
have
wait
4 kids.
a minute
I have
because
two
I'm getting
grandbabies.
a little back. 1 minute. It seems like we getting a bad connection. How does it sound on your end?
You sound perfect on my end.
Okay, do you hear your feedback? Do you sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. It was breaking up for me on my end. I don't know. So getting back. you were going into about who you are, and I'm sorry to have you start over, but I just want to make sure I kept everything.
I'm Robert Lewis Kendall, the son of Robert Dinwiddie and Lorice Kendall Dinwiddie. From Newport, Arkansas. 47 years old. I got 4 kids. Graduated class in '97. I was married for 19 years and in a relationship for 25.
Wow.
So that's a little synopsis of me.
Okay, great. 19 years of marriage and 25 in a relationship with the same woman. Of course, 25
Yes.
years relationship. Okay, so
Yes.
this guy will kind of, you definitely can give us some insight and wisdom on relationship and love just from your own experience. And what brought this on? We're just gonna reflect back on our last live. We kind of touched base on celebrity relationships, right? So there was some comments. You had some comments, and we didn't get a chance to address it. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad we get to share, this space now and get to answer some of those questions and hear, some of your feedback. So, one moment. So, just starting out, one question that I led with is, how do you define love? I want to start with that. Let's talk about defining love, authentic love.
Authentic love is what makes you happy. I think if you feel some type of way, uh, if you're in a relationship just to make somebody else happy
Mm-hmm.
and you're not happy and you're
Mm-hmm.
not living in your truth, you know, or you just loving somebody and being with somebody because that's what public opinion
Mm-hmm.
wants you to do. At the end of the day, you're not going to make the person
Mm-hmm.
you with happy, and you're
Right.
not going to be happy. And the person you say you love, you're not really giving them the love
Mm-hmm.
they need because that's not the type of relationship you want to be in. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
what kills me is like when some people try to
Mm-hmm.
judge relationships, everybody want to throw Bible and the God into it. I understand
Mm-hmm.
that. You're supposed to when you come to a relationship, but you can't nitpick out of the Bible what is the sin of sin. Just because
Mm-hmm.
how I choose to do a relationship don't make me a worse sinner than you if you out here doing something else that's a sin. So that's my only issue I have with it because a lot of people get so judgmental on
Mm-hmm.
people's relationships, you know. But us common folks, they condone the celebrities with
Mm-hmm.
money relationships. But when old common folks go to do it, you know what I'm saying, they really don't. They're not into
Right.
it.
Right. Okay, so I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's very important. And that is authentic love. You want to be happy, and you don't want to be in a relationship just for someone else, but there has to be a balance because it's a partnership. So, starting out 25 years, how did your relationship begin? Because things change. So, I know in the beginning, what was your mind, your frame of mind getting into a relationship, and what did it mean at the time 25 years ago?
So, I was 18, 19. I was a senior in high school getting into a long term relationship. So at that time, I was learning how to be in a relationship and I was learning how to love somebody. You know,
Okay.
not knowing not knowing internally what I really wanted out of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? A relationship is like
Mhm.
kids. It don't come with a
Yes,
handbook. You
I
know what I'm saying?
totally
It's
agree.
on the job. It's on the job training. It's on the job training, and you just going with the flow and necessarily as you grow, as each individual grow,
Mm-hmm.
you start to find
Mm-hmm.
yourself. The older you get, the mature
Mm-hmm.
you get, you start finding yourself and realize what you fell in love with or what you said you love in a relationship, that ain't really what you
Mm-hmm.
want. And not that's not let me say this. That'll hurt the other
Mm-hmm.
person because now you done found something different than you
Mm-hmm.
want out of love. And you came in this relationship with the same type of love that they expected
Mm-hmm.
you to give them. But then the older you got, the more
Mm-hmm.
mature you got, and the more you seen, you know what I'm saying, everything started to change, and everybody don't
Amen.
change together, and that's
Yes,
cool.
yes. Well, you said a mouthful there, and that is very, true and transparent. I appreciate you for that transparency, but I think that is very important to put in perspective. Like, we either going to grow together or we're going to grow apart, and it don't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's just you being true and
Yeah.
honest with yourself, and that's what authentic love is. And just because I think we get love confused sometime or what it means, because it's like this is the end all be all, but love is about maturity. Love is about understanding and compassion and allowing a person room to grow. And when you are expressing yourself, like that, and being true to yourself, it's something to be accepted. And that is, your self-worth, what you deserve. You deserve to be happy in a relationship that aligns with your true self. And it's something important that you also said is we don't know who we are when we start these relationships. I identify with you so much there, because we just get into relationships. It all works in the beginning, but we do grow, we do evolve,
Right.
things does change, and it has to align with who we truly are in order for us to live in that truth and live in that happiness. So that's very good insight there. And when it comes to judgment, this is something that I've also spoke on, because that's a lot of what we deal with, the celebrities, anyone. We're all human, and I don't think, just depending on who it is, it's always a pros and cons. We may can accept it. I don't accept it. How do you feel about how the relationships and just the infidelity? Because in the end of the day, that's normally what the breakdown is. Even though we grown, are we being honest in that growth, or we just learning to communicate that? Because sometimes it's not so much of us, you know, uh, not being honest or being intentionally uh, deceitful, or you just learning something, and like you said, it's hard. Now you're considering someone else's feelings more so or your own, and we can get into putting someone else above our own. So how, like, in that transitioning or that transformation within yourself internally, as you begin to identify what you truly wanted, how did you communicate that in your relationship?
I didn't, because I'm a bad
Mm-hmm.
communicator, and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? My
Mm-hmm.
ex-wife, I love her to death. She called me 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm gonna jump up and do whatever she need. We just didn't work as a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But if she ever need anything, I don't care who I'm with, if I'm married or whatever the case may be. If she called me, I'm jumping up and I'm gone. Give her whatever she needs. Because we spent so many years together. You can't throw away 25 years of a relationship and 19 years of a marriage because one person in the marriage felt like that wasn't what they wanted
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand what you going into relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, we just dive in head first, or we meet somebody and we head over heels, and
It's all good.
we gotta we've been drilled in our head what a relationship's supposed to be, the white picket fence with the dog and the kids. But when reality sets in, and and I feel like that's why the
Mm-hmm.
celebrities live the life they live. They not. I feel like this. A lot of people say, I ain't sharing nobody. 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 And you sharing. Either you mess, if you single and you messing with somebody else's man, or you messing with somebody else's woman,
Mm-hmm.
you sharing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about a
Mm-hmm.
mindset and how you feel about a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And like I said, if you're not living in your truth, you're not going to be able to give the person that you
Mm-hmm.
say you love, and you're not going to be able to give yourself no happiness, because you're gonna be miserable the
Absolutely.
whole time, because that's not what you want, because that's not what you want
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship. You just doing it because that's what we've been conformed to do, or conformed. That's what a relationship is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like we just get caught up
Mm-hmm.
in in society, and not get caught up with being
Mm-hmm.
honest with one another. Honesty is and like I say, I was a liar. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I own mine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
100%. I'm real transparent. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold nothing back, and I don't care if anybody judges me. I ain't
Right.
never cared if anybody judges me. That's one thing about Robert Kendall. You can say whatever you want to about me, but I don't care about you judging me. Because one day, all of us got to stand in the front of the good Lord,
Amen.
and He the only judge us. He the only judge us. And y'all opinion, public opinion don't
Yeah,
matter
and
to me.
it gets to that, and that's
Public
also a
opinion
part
don't
of
matter to me.
learning as well, because we are quick to judge, and we are quick to when it comes to regulating our emotions, even if we're getting hurt intentionally or unintentionally, we do have to learn how to communicate and also respect one another. And I think because we never identified who we was until late in the game, until we went through everything, we started to do things backwards. And so now it's an opportunity, now that we are growing, now that we are learning more about ourselves, because it's important. It's a time in our life that it'll come down to that, and especially when you're not living in your truth.
Right.
And that's important for us to get to living in our truth, regardless of what it look like, but if it's okay with you. But when it comes to relationships, like I said, the breakdown be the communication. And there is room for grace. There is room for compassion in that time, if you understand it. But some people don't understand it. And when it comes to personal accountability, when it's something that we cause and this person is giving us feedback, do you accept that, or do you take personal accountability in that? When you wasn't being honest and you was addressed, were you able to be honest in that moment, or you still had to mask it until you got to a place where you could be honest?
I had to be honest in the moment because my shit was so
Okay.
obvious. So it was. You know how somebody come ask you a question and they already got the answer and the
Yeah,
proof to it.
I'm a
Shit,
woman. I know.
ain't, ain't no more line at this
Exactly. You
point.
gotta be
Shit, you
all
be like, oh, okay, okay, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more line. I think that's the thing. I think we all need
uh-huh.
to be honest with each other
Mm-hmm.
and honest with ourselves, because you can't drag a person along in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship for so long, and that's not the type of
Mm-hmm.
relationship you want. And you out here living the type of life that you want to live, but this person that you with and you say you love think you living the life that y'all
Mm-hmm.
thought y'all was building together. So it's like you say, communication is the key. I'm a bad communicator. You know what I'm saying? I like to sweep shit under the rug. Hopefully, it just fly over my head and hope nobody see it. But it's growing
It is
pain.
girl pain.
And like you say, I come from a little small town in Newport, and then you go to different places, see different
Mm-hmm.
stuff, different stuff. Be like, damn, it's more out here in
Yeah,
this
you're
world than
exposed
this.
to a lot more.
Damn, I want to try some of it. I want to try
Okay,
some of
so
it.
trying. So you still trying to figure it out at this point, but let's put a term on it. Monogamy is not. Are you saying now, in knowing who you are, is now you can say monogamy not for you, or or you just want to have fun and explore it?
Monogamy
It's
not
not for you.
for me. I believe in the
You
poly.
believe in what's that? Help us understand.
The poly. The poly
Oh, the
is,
the
and they
poly.
think
I
it's
thought you
about just
said
having.
something else. Okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
poly. Okay, okay.
No,
So
right.
in that, is that, how does that align with your personal value of who you are being in a poly? Like, what you started out, and we like to say, that this is a societal norm, but can it align with your personal values? Still, just because it's a societal norm don't mean you can't accept it, but it can align with your personal values as well. So I'm asking you, does that align with your personal values, and can you identify what they are?
Yes, and it does, because people think when it comes to poly, they think, oh, it's a man, he got two women, and it's all about sexuality. It's not. When it comes to poly, it's about three people coming together, building. You know, you caring about each other, you loving each other, y'all building wealth together. You know, because how the song go? We old school. I ain't gonna give you
Come
my
on
tune right
now.
now. What they say? Everybody cheats. You just got to know how, and you got to know when.
Yeah.
So, and my and my thing is, Jen, I just don't believe one person, man or woman, can be with one person for the rest of their life. Somebody gonna slip up
And
somewhere. Somebody gonna
okay,
slip
even
up
if they
somewhere.
slip up, does that mean that's a wrap? But it's a choice, whatever. If something happened, why do you think cheating in this sense it'll be why do you think that even occurs in a person or in a relationship when we have a understanding, like you say, a person will get in a relationship thinking that we're gonna have this because of I don't know. I think it's not defined in the beginning, especially back before we knew anything about making
Right, right.
decisions that align with our true values. So how do we get to that, get to that place?
Have you ever get somebody on your podcast, Jen, that's been married 40 to
Mm-hmm.
50 years? They gonna tell you they endured their spouse cheating. They just
Mm-hmm.
worked through it. And some people can't
Right.
work through it because because some cheating once it gets so public, you know what I'm saying, the man
Mm-hmm.
or the woman, you know what I'm like, well, I can't accept this, I'm embarrassed because everybody know this and that. You know what I'm saying? It's as a couple and you start letting outside
Mm-hmm.
voices in your relationship, that's when your
Mm-hmm.
relationship is ruined. Because don't nobody have your relationship better interests
Right.
in mind than you and your spouse. Everybody else is just the
Mm-hmm.
outside voice. Because at the end of the day, they gotta look in the mirror and they gotta look at their
Mm-hmm.
own doorstep too. Because when you go judge somebody else's relationship, your shit ain't better than nobody else. Your shit just
Right.
ain't hit the fan yet. Your shit just ain't hit the fan yet. So, like I say, I don't care about judgment. I don't care about people judging me.
Mm-hmm.
That shit don't bother me. That's just one other person
Mm-hmm.
got my name in their mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That don't bother me. It is what it is, and we love,
Mm-hmm.
we live, and one thing about me, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
enjoy life. I'm gonna enjoy my life because someday I gotta go. But when I go, I done had a blast when I was here on this
Well,
earth. I done had a blast when I here on this earth. Whichever side I end up
yeah.
on, I done had a blast
And you did
here on this
something
earth.
that was aligned with who you are. And I'm going to just take a moment and speak to our audience that's joining in. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining Genders Love Live tonight. Just carrying on this conversation with Robert about life, love, and relationships. And just when we get to a place where we grow and we change, and the situation that we in, our feelings may change, and just learning to be honest with ourselves, and then honest with the person that we're involved with that is expecting you to be honest with them. So uh, one thing about speaking to people on the outside of or your relationship, and when there's no honesty, when there is lying, as you know, the saying, women have an intuition. So before you even get
Right,
to a point
right.
of trust, and the trust is broken because, like you said, it's obvious, but you have not addressed, you had to be addressed, as opposed to you coming, forthcoming with it. Was that how, when you had to be addressed before it came about?
Mm, my addressing came when it was in the forefront.
So
So
it wasn't. So what I'm trying to make clear is before the honesty came out, there was the damage already done, and then it was like you said, I'm caught now. I just got to do it. Okay, so in that people, and then
right.
thank God for our friends and family. I'm sure you have a circle of friends or someone that you can trust and you can talk through your issues, because those people are there for. It is the issue when they start to impose on a decision or judge, a situation, but being fair and listening, because there's no truth in there. And sometimes when you have true friend and family that care about you, it can help you process things, but then sometimes it can cause drama. But it all depends on you and the individual, because at the end of the day, like you said, it's between me and you and what we decide to do. And when it comes to honesty
Right.
and personal accountability, it don't have anything to do, regardless of who you talk to or whatever the case may be. We still, even a man and woman in a relationship, we have to make a decision. The intuition, I think women do have it, and men, have an intuition. God gives us a divine knowing, or warning signs of things that we need. So even if we don't have physical proof, we know in our heart, we go there. So I know there was arguments. I know there was, things addressed prior to anything. Prior to it, it's a long time, and I've been in relationships and I know how it works. And so I think one thing I want to ask you too, just from your point of view, when you feel like a person knows, even though it's not, but you want them to see it through action and kind of make a decision, like you see it, and but you not being forthcoming with it. And this is when you may not at a place where you can be honest about it until you cannot be honest about it. What do you think that is, or how do you see a woman that stays in a relationship with you when they know it's obvious that you're cheating and it's not something that they want?
Because this is my thing. Why leave the person that you with and you know he cheating to go get with somebody else that
We
you know
don't
he
know
gonna
that.
cheat on you too?
Like you
You might well
said,
stay
it has
whatever.
happened.
You might as well stay in something that you done worked years on building than getting into something. And at the end, honest, she gonna let y'all chime in. How many of you women done been cheated on, got in another relationship, cheated on, got in another relationship, cheated on, got in another relationship, when you should have just stayed with the person that cheated on you initially that you had already built something with?
Okay.
That's just something. That's just food for
Okay.
thought.
Now, listen, I want a woman, somebody. Oh, thank you. I want somebody. Now, I can answer this question, but just, to get your feedback. What do you think that is? Just that you're asking now. This person is saying this is not what it's want, but you're saying because this is the behavior or the conduct amongst us in relationships
Right.
that we need to come to a place of acceptance. But then you have men out here. We have men. With your mindset, and we have men that say they don't cheat. They don't want multiple women. Not that they won't ever cheat, because we know there is attraction. It's human nature. We will be attracted to another person, regardless if we're in a relationship or not. But you have to control yourself. It's about what you have. And the same way you can say someone can just accept it, or a woman can just accept it because this is a trend. It could be a generational curse. It could be. That's a perspective. That if we continue to live in this, but at the same time, we have to make decisions about what it is that we want, and what our self-worth is. So when a woman says this is what I want, and then you're in a relationship doing the opposite, that person they don't have to choose that. I mean, like I say, we're not perfect, but it is men, and I've witnessed men, and they may have cheated along the way, but they're not saying I just want another woman. I want another. They may want to indulge in sexual pleasures with another woman, but they don't want to build a whole nother relationship with another woman. You know, so is it fair to tell a woman?
So what's the difference? Jen, what's the difference? You building a
Mm-hmm,
sexual relationship with them,
mm-hmm,
right?
yeah,
You building a sexual relationship with that person. So, if you believe in soul ties and you steady having sexual relationship with this person, at some point you're gonna
mm-hmm,
start building feelings for this person. Especially, if you at the crib, you and the old man, or you and the old lady, y'all having issues.
mm-hmm.
Everybody got a work husband, everybody got a work wife. The
that
work husband and
that's
work
not
the work
absolute, but
husband and work
okay.
wife, and work and the work wife and work husband telling you everything you want because you taking your problems to them, and
Okay,
they tell
well, let's
you,
hold
"Oh, I
up
wouldn't
right
do that to
there.
you. I
This
wouldn't do
is
that to
this
you."
is not an absolute fact. So I want this. You can say this is something that happens. This can happen, but we can't speak for everyone. I like to say that it is a balance. It is, some people do have work husbands and work man, and someone that they confide in. Do you think that's cheating, or you think that's okay?
Now, why you going to work to another man, or me as a man going to another woman telling you about our issues? Because
Mm-hmm.
that opened up the door.
It
It opened
does.
up the door. You got a vulnerable woman
Mm-hmm.
who's vulnerable at the moment, and you take that opportunity. Say y'all after work one day,
Mm-hmm.
y'all gonna have drinks, and y'all
Mm-hmm.
having a vulnerable moment. Bam, there you have it. Or you got a
Mhm.
vulnerable man, and y'all go out to work, and then you
Mhm.
got a vulnerable moment. That's it. It's it.
That
Yeah, it
can
could be
be
it
that
could be
it can be
toxic. You know.
toxic, and could be an action that's even forgiven. But if you're in a relationship, a monogamy relationship with someone, and this is not something she wants. If it happened, one time and it's forgiven, or two times or whatever case, but it is a whole blown out relationship. Like Neil, he had 2 kids on his wife, and just because men are cheat, like, we are still like, okay, oh well, every man cheats, so I'm not gonna leave this man that don't have no respect for me, that is not valuing who I am, because he knows what I want, but because he want multiple, he wants to experience this. We have to be honest, and that it's not no may as well, because it is men that we see and witness that don't believe in that. They will choose otherwise. But do we experience, has always been experienced? Yes, cheating has. But it is the level of respect for a person. When you say, when you're not happy, if a person ain't happy in a relationship, authentic love is allowing a person to stand in their truth and not manipulate it in no type of way, because you have came to a conclusion that, yes, this is not what I want. I respect this woman. She does deserve to have, what she's wanting, what she thought she could have. So I'm going to leave. So if that's what a person wants, it comes down to choices. If a person chooses to live their life, that's different. That's what we want. We want to get with people that choose their life. And because we have it, people, it's a lot of people experiencing that, and it's still people that want that old-fashioned love, that want to experience, and then they can get through it when there's still respect, and loyalty and forgiveness and understanding and room to grow and opportunity for change. But when you absolutely are not for that with a woman that wants that, then that's where the problem happens. That we're not being.
So
Mhm.
so so Jen, let me say that what's the forgiveness
Well,
you
if a
talking about?
person cheats, like you said, in every relationship going back to history, there's been
So
another
then you
woman.
said no.
Uh-huh.
That's what I wanted you to say. Because then you said loyalty. You said
Mhm.
loyalty at the same time. So if this person cheated, there was
But
no
can she
loyalty
be
in the first place,
forgiven? He'll
right?
she be forgiven?
What a person always
Well,
say: once
that's
a
what
cheater, always a
you
cheater.
believe. If that's what you believe in your choice, then you will move on from that person, because you have no trust now. And if there's no choice, there's no room for reconciliation. There's no room for growth beyond that mistake, because now you have it fixed in your mind that once a cheater, always a cheater. So it's no going back. So in that choice and in that belief and that mindset, you walk away from that person if you love that person and you love yourself.
But did y'all? But did you? But did you fix the issue that made the man or the
How
woman go out
can
and
they?
cheat?
Was
Was
it
the
an
issue fixed?
opportunity? Because now trust broken, and you're not even finna operate in the way that we can grow, because you have this in your mindset. So now there's a barrier, there's a protection wall that's going up to where you can't do that, because you don't have a peace of mind, because this person has broken your trust. So is there a real opportunity
Right.
for a person to fix that?
Right.
So okay. Okay, so we're gonna move on here. So we just what we're doing here, reflecting on our experiences.
Hey, Jen, I want to be on with Dorita Williams one day. I want
Doretta.
to get her home with us one day. I want to get Doretta. I want to get Doretta home. I ain't stuttering, Doretta.
Doretta.
I ain't stuttering.
We gonna have to make that happen. So what is all about? What we're having a discussion about is personal accountability, learning to be honest with ourselves, and we can't change the past. We can't
True.
change the past. We know where we come from.
Okay.
We knew we
Right.
made a decision. We were doing stuff, and just going back to the word. Now, I don't use the word in a way to judge us and put us in hell. I use it in a way
Right.
to help us grow, from God's love, and,
Right.
and, and from his grace that he shows us. We still be able to overcome and get back on footing, on solid ground, because we're rooted in love, and so that's love, is us being able to look at ourselves and say, I wasn't honest. I didn't do the things that I needed to
Right.
do.
Right.
That's love. That's being
True.
real with
Fact.
yourself. That's self-love, because before we can heal, we have to be honest and take personal accountability. But we also have to, grow and get to a point to where we can allow people to be who they are. And when things change, that's what it is. But in a relationship, it's partnership, and it's about us working together for a common goal. If it's not that, we have to learn how to accept that truth, live in it. It's always respect and love, but just because we can't be together in a romantic relationship doesn't mean we can't respect one another in who we individually are as human beings. You know what I'm saying? So,
Most definitely. And one thing about it is you have to have and you preach on self
mhm.
love all the time. You got to love yourself before you can learn to
And
love
we,
someone else. Because if you don't love yourself, and if you don't know, if you can't determine what you want
mhm,
in a relationship, you can't go pretend in another. You can't go
mhm,
pretend with somebody and make it like this the relationship you want, because you
mhm,
wasting years of somebody's life where they could go actually find the love that they're
mhm.
actually looking for, and you can go actually, because
Yeah,
there's somebody out there for everybody. You know, if you into this type of relationship,
yeah.
there's somebody out there for you. If you're into poly, if you're gay, or if you're into
Amen.
that, there's somebody out there for you. If there's somebody out there for you. So you got to go find that instead of getting somebody stuck in your web
Mhm.
and you selling them a dream on something that you know that's not what
Amen.
you really want. So you know you as a man or a woman, you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to be honest with that person, and like you said, you got
Yep.
to communicate. And I think the issue with a lot of
Mhm.
men, we don't like to communicate. Because men, we
Mhm.
don't like confrontation, and we don't want, we don't want our
Mhm.
truth out. Let me say that we don't
Mhm.
want our truth out, because 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, when a woman come to you about something, she know the answer, she got the proof. You might well say, okay, yeah, I'm called.
Yeah, cause at
Done.
this point you
I
playing
throw
with
my hands
yourself.
up.
Baby,
I'm
we
playing
done
with
did the
myself.
research and we know.
Women are like the FBI. They're gonna investigate you for 3 years, and then when they got a case on you, you can't beat them.
Okay, so that's great. That was a great, dialogue there. So that's basically, putting in perspective to how we, balance our personal freedom with responsibility to our partners. Because whether we're in a poly or a monogamy relationship, it requires respect, honesty, and self-awareness. So either way, if we don't have that, it's not going to work. And so
Fact.
we got to have that. So let's see. I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Yeah, he preaching, ain't he? Linda said, "Preach, man." So this is great. This is great, and let's see. So we touched base already on like societal norms and how they can get on, and just that judgment too. Can cause you to not living your truth, because you don't want to be judged. You can start to doubt yourself or feel like failure. So you have to deal with all that, and no one has compassion for you in those situations. But that's what we have to learn
Right,
how to do
right.
is have compassion. And the reason why it's so important is to learn that and empathize, learn that empathy. All of that stuff that requires for us to navigate through these challenges with respect and dignity and love for ourselves and love for others, so we can all move in harmony regardless, is just being able to realize that where we all came from, where we all started from, we all had to grow, we all had to learn, we all had to go through some changes. And for me, like when I can understand that and see the flaws in my own through my journey, I truly do have compassion and understanding for someone. I truly want us to walk in our purpose and be aligned and true and live in be authentic to who we are, because we didn't know that, we didn't have that, we had to learn that through the pains and sufferings that we went through. So it's important that we learn how to do that, even in relationships. Like, and in a relationship, that was my fight. Like, even when I'm knowing and I'm addressing things, I'm like, if you doing this is not what I want. This is what we need to do. I'm trying to
Right,
get to a
right.
resolution so we can be cool. But other than that, like, I
So
want us
Jenny,
to be happy.
let
Uh-huh.
me ask you a question, Jen. Let
Okay.
me ask you a question, Jen. So I done seen you evolve. You know, we went to school together, we grew up together, and I done seen you evolve from high school Jen to
Okay.
this Jen. So what brought you from high school Jen to this Jen with the self love and the self respect and all this stuff? What brought you to this?
Okay, good. I'm glad you asked me that. What brought me through this relationships, what we talking about, being on the woman side of things, and just being innocent about going into a relationship thinking, you know, to love a person and whatever that looks like to make that person happy, so I'm going along in the thing, and I was not getting what I expected in a relationship, so it was heartbreaking. And and this was repeated, relationship after relationship after relationship, so I was making the same decisions because I was blind with love. I didn't truly understand it, and one thing that was hard for me to grasp was learning to love myself before I got into this love relationship. So I'm a true lover's girl. So I'm all in love. I'm all in. I'm ready to do anything to make it work. And I just was not met with that. And I understand it now because, like you said, we wasn't in a place to know what we needed to know to be in these relationships. And it kind of goes back to biblical teachings when don't fornicate, don't do this, because it brings all of this
Right,
on. It
right, right,
brings
right. Brings all of
it
this on.
opens you
Brings
up to
all of it
all
on.
this pain, deceit, and everything because you have jumped into something that you don't understand. Your heart is, pure, and you're vulnerable, and you don't understand. You don't have the tools, so you are broken. You do feel when they reject, you don't get what you want out of a relationship, and you truly love someone with all what you only know, and it's not met or reciprocated. That breaks your spirit. And so for me.
And you made a perfect point, Jen. Because how can you go from before you decide to get in a relationship, you don't met a man don't mess with
Mhm,
multiple women, a woman don't mess with multiple men, and now you trying to be in a relationship
mhm,
with just one person for
mhm.
the rest of your life when you come from you being able to mess with different people. Now you got to have a mindset. You got to have a strong mind. You got to have a
Baby.
strong mindset. Strong. I mean, let me say it like this:
Mhm.
strong mindset to make your mind up that you're gonna be with one person. Everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do that.
But who is that for? I don't think, like me, I've always had a mindset to be with one person, and it wasn't none influence. It was just something in me, Now, how I end up being with more than one person throughout my life is because I didn't get the happily ever after. I didn't get that because the relationships that I was in, it didn't allow, for that. So you start making decisions from hurt, say hurt people hurt people. You start, this how
Right.
you
That
get
part.
into
That
the
part.
toxic
Yeah.
behavior, and on both ends
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know how to navigate that love that you have for somebody, or that hope, that effort that you putting in to have with somebody. You don't know how to navigate that. So all you can do is endure the pain. And so all I could do is I was so depressed, and in my feels I didn't understand, why this was happening. And my cry out was to God at this point. Can't nobody. I'm talking to friends. I'm talking
Right.
to older people with wisdom that love and care about me. They see and hear things in the street. And even other people see your self-worth and be like, you deserve better than this, or you deserve, you put yourself, love yourself. But again, I don't know that. All I know is to love. So I was blind, and in that hurt, in that brokenness, my relationship with God manifested within me. And so me going through that and understanding and learning, you can love, but you got to be smart. You got to learn. You are
Right.
responsible for some of the things that you're going through because you making these decisions, and I didn't know. So that's when I have to also learn compassion for myself, because I was making these decisions in truth, like with what I had. So when you make decisions, with what you have and you don't know and you learn, you do have to learn to be forgiving to yourself, because sometimes that is what take away from who you truly are because of what you done experienced in life, and the hurt and the pain and the judgment. And especially when we get into
Right.
biblical and Christian, when you go into church and you sitting in church and you in hell from what you experiencing, like, and so you're not even feeling worthy.
And people point out stuff in the Bible that fits, that makes it look like they
Mhm.
doing good. You know, a sin is
Yeah.
a sin. Whether you whether you cheating or whether you doing
talking,
this or whether you doing that, if you're not
gossiping,
following the Ten Commandments,
anything but bringing God's
ain't
people to
none of us
God
going to heaven.
and knowing God's
Right.
business,
Ain't none of us
knowing
going
your
to heaven.
business, and knowing other people's business. Like we have to get in line with that because God gave us a job, but He also have a job, and He's God alone. So you have to even learn, through that, because not only from what you go through in relationships, how you judge by other people, as well. Older people, growing up, we was judged by older people. You fast, you
Right.
manage,
Right. Right.
all that stuff.
Right.
Not giving no
I,
tools.
I tell hey Jen, I tell people all the time, learn the Bible before you learn what I got going on in my life. Because learning what the Bible got in it will get you to heaven. Learning about what what I got going on in my life, gonna confuse the hell out of you.
Sometimes you gotta let it go and say that's not my business, that's God. But what I think is important for us to be a reflection of who we are. And because I believe God is within us, and if He's the one leading us, it's always a choice to the light or the dark. And whatever you choose, you're going to
Right.
experience it. And it's just learning about, like you said, who you are, maturing. This is life. We're gonna forever have opportunity to grow. And I just like for all us to, learn that and have that compassion and have that empathy and not be so judgmental and opinionated about someone else's life when you don't know the full story, or you don't know the struggles, you don't know the trauma, you don't know what no one has gone through for you to be so hard and judgmental on them when God has delivered you. And so when you've been delivered and shown grace, because we know we talking about the mistakes that we made, we talking about, what would be identified as sins and things of that nature. Do you not think we deal with that? So what God love is restores and bring us through that and give us an opportunity with every new day and every life. We get an opportunity to make better the choices that is true to us and aligns with the spirit within us. And so we do that, everything else gonna fall in place. But the biggest work has to be done within you so you can respond accordingly to who you are and what aligns with you. So it's when we talk about choices that impact our self-worth and relationships, and it also it affects us as an individual, because when you're not living in that truth and you saying it is miserable, and now that can flow out to other people, that can affect
Right.
other people because you're not happy and you don't want to deal with certain things.
It affect it affect your
Oh my
kids. If
God.
you got kids, it affect your kids and everybody else that's involved that you have brought, because you bringing somebody else into your
Amen.
family, and
Mm-hmm.
that person becomes your family. Like to this day, with my ex-wife, my sister, that's their sister. At the end of the day, that's their sister, and because I brought her into my family 25 years, and you can't throw that away. And I ain't never been the type of person to be like, well, me and her ain't together no more. Y'all don't need to talk to her no more. Y'all need to be friends with her no more. No, yeah, that's a relationship they built together, because you bring other people in it, and then you got your kids involved. And I think, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't realize how much it affects your kids when they so used to a two-parent home, and then they don't have a two-parent home no
Mm-hmm.
more. Even a grown kid, you know what I'm saying? It's sometimes you just got to be
Yeah.
mindful on what you're doing and try to protect your kids and keep them out of what you
Mm-hmm.
got going on between you and
Mm-hmm.
your spouse. But sometimes it's hard. When they
Yes.
get grown, they understand. When they hear you arguing and fussing throughout the household, that it's
Mm-hmm.
toxic to the kids. So should people work? So if you going through a household and you arguing and fussing, and that's all y'all doing every day, and that's what your kids see, should somebody try to make that relationship work? Is it because you damaging the image of what love and marriage is to your kids, because y'all at each other's throat every
I
five
can
minutes.
understand that. Yes, and some people, back in the days, a lot of relationships was because of the kids, because they put the kids before what they were going through. And it wasn't as like, I think it was more respect back in the day. Like when they say granny and them did it, grandpa did it, he had other families, this is that. But it wasn't nothing on the level that what we go through now. It was more, respect. You knew it. Things was taken care of, granny took care of, it wasn't no it wasn't no too much crossing over and mixing up. It was just, it is what it is.
Right,
But
right,
nowadays it's
right.
really missing. Like you said, if you don't, what your kids will see, it's kind of hard to protect them because people in the street or when gossip, depending on who you share your information with.
Social media, social media,
Social
social
media too.
media.
Who you share your business with, it can get out. And now it's talking, your kids can hear. So do you think when you have children and they're old enough, like you said, it's important for you to have those conversations with them about life? Because I think, and the reason I'm asking this question, because I think if we were really taught about love, because we know this is how it's designed, man, woman, me, God created us to be partnerships to one another, to be a mate, to be a helpmate. Do you believe in that? Do you believe
Mhm.
in that concept? Or I mean, you do in a sense, but it just don't have to be with one woman. It could be multiple women.
You know what I
Hmm.
think marriage has become? Marriage, marriage ain't built on
Hmm.
love anymore. I think marriage is built on more of a business decision. Marriage is a business now. You know how you used to could go to
Hmm.
a church and you could feel so close with a church and you can go see your pastor at any time for counseling. Nowadays, you got to make an appointment to go see your pastor because it done got so big to where you can't even communicate with the pastor without going through a security guard or make an
Hmm.
appointment or this and that. And I think that's what marriage has become. Marriage has become it's just what the each other brings to the table.
Hmm.
What it ain't about because I love you and you love me and we in love. It's because that's what society is now. That's what the Ti Tiny. That's what the celebrities
Hmm.
do now. And that's what we looking at. That's what we're looking at, and
It
that's what our
is,
kids are looking at.
but that's why you have to be an example of what it is and be transparent so kids know coming up with what life is really about because they haven't experienced it. And we as adults and parents are responsible for training our child up in the way that they should go. And so if it's something that you can share with them about what's going to happen that they for sure going to experience in life, because this life is a repeated cycle history time and time again, is for them to be equipped with the knowledge that we wasn't equipped with, and also allow them to be themselves, be true to themselves, teach them about being authentic and learning. So as they're growing and going, they have that knowledge. They have someone that they trust that can give them that information. Because back in the day, it was don't say nothing, stay out of grown folks'
Right.
business,
Yeah.
don't. And
Folk
we
business.
needed to know
Right.
things, but not on the way or in your business. But life is hard. Marriage is hard. We go through things, it ain't just about what it looks on the outside. Like I say, you don't have that information till you went in, because most of you was told don't do it. You fast, you high, or whatever, you going to hell, or whatever the case may be, but no real tools, to navigate through life and what we went through. So we hurt people unintentionally because we trying to figure it out. And so with that, knowing when you get to a place of understanding that, well, whatever you go through, that's kind of what I filter, my life through, and dealing with situations is understanding the situation at a 360-degree angle, and not just from my perspective, and then moving in alignment with who I am, and then still being respectful, to that person, letting a person be who they truly are, but being able to communicate, boundaries still with respect and love. And that's something, like I said, we'll always have to kind of deal with other people. But long as we grounded and we know what's what and we know who's who, then we can kind of move like that. We can move in our truth and navigate through people's opinions and just try to be the best us that we can be, And so that's you.
And that's like when people come to me for marriage advice. I
Hmm.
don't give it to them. I tell
Hmm.
them this is your experience. I can't I can't
Hmm.
give you my experience. This is your experience, and
Hmm.
marriage is what you make of it. You're gonna get out of marriage what you
That's
put into a
good.
marriage.
Yeah, that's good
So
feedback to give.
I'm not I'm not gonna give you no of what you do step for step for step to get here to
Hmm.
get here to get here.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna give you that. You have to decide. You have to decide and come to a conclusion with you and your spouse on how y'all gonna live y'all marriage and how y'all gonna
Mm-hmm.
live y'all life. You know, because we all different type.
Yes,
We all
it's
different
not
people.
one size
We
fit
all
all.
we all have different. We all have we all yeah. We all
Mm-hmm.
have different emotions. So your marriage is your experience. I can't give you my experience out of
Mm-hmm.
my marriage. That's your experience, and you got to learn from it. You know, I wasn't giving the book. You not giving the book. You
But we
know,
are here
it
to
is what it
share
is.
knowledge. We are sharing, and even what you're saying, you was giving good information without, at the end of the day, it's gonna be your experience because we can give somebody a step by step, a blueprint and everything. That's something my dad told me a long time ago. I can give you everything that you need, but you still gonna go out there and make decisions and live life, and life is gonna teach you what you need to know. And that's true. We can have all the knowledge and information we need, but until we learn through our own experience and we start to make choices based on what we learn and what we need, that's what it is. And so sharing you this right here helps people. So your wisdom and your knowledge, what you went through, we go through what we go through for that. And for us to share, not to tell somebody what to do, but to impart that wisdom and that knowledge on someone to give them perspective that can help them make a decision. Come to that solution quicker than 25 years later or 19 years later. But especially I see a lot of men want this support. They need it, because they feel unheard. They feel like, the word is against our men, especially our Black men. And so that is needed. And it's a safe place for no judgment, for someone that can relate from a man's point of view, because no one too much want a woman tell them what to do, and then a man too, you have to understand it. So it's a balance, and it's about us. If you spreading good news, you spreading love, you spreading wisdom, truth, and to help someone get there, it is very much needed. It's very much needed.
So I see our good friend Dorita put counseling. Do you believe? I don't believe in counseling. I don't believe in going to somebody and telling them
Mhm.
about my issues that I know what I need to fix. So what makes you think me coming to you, laying on your couch, telling you about my problems, gonna fix my problems? Until I have a made up mind, and this is the Bible. Until
Mhm.
you have a made up mind to be saved, you won't be saved. Until you have a made up mind to want to do right with your life or a relationship or whatever you got going on, I don't care who you sit down with. I don't care who you talk to. It's never going. It ain't going to happen. You just gotta have your
Amen.
mind. Got to be made up because as a person, God
Mhm.
gave you five senses,
Mhm.
and you got to use them. Ain't no person you can go sit down with to pay
Mhm.
thousands of dollars to tell
Mhm.
you what you need to do when they
Mhm.
stuff probably ain't together.
Mhm.
We can figure that out on our own.
Mhm.
I know what I'm doing wrong. I know if I go out here and cheat,
Mhm.
that's wrong. I don't need nobody to tell me, man, that's wrong. You cheated. I
But the
know that.
reason that,
I don't
that
need you to
can be
tell me
like,
that.
why are you cheating? But you can also figure that out on yourself too, because of my spiritual journey, I believe in the counsel of the spirit within, and even if I do talk to someone or whatever, it helps process thoughts, but at the end of the day, it's what makes sense to you. What aligns with who you are, what aligns with your happening, what aligns with your peace. Those are the things that matter at the end of the day. And you can be open to instruction, open to, counsel, but not to, at the end of the day, it is your decision ultimately. But a lot of people don't feel supported. And so when you don't feel supported because people don't understand, and why I say it's good to have a community of someone that allow you to express yourself without somebody coming telling you it's wrong, because they need something, they need you to see it another way, or they need you to accept, and they just don't have it. Where a counselor is like a safe place. They don't have no investment in it, so you can be true because people don't trust no one. They don't have no one, and sometimes people do. But like for me in the counseling, my faith is so strong in God, and I believe in who He is, and with me, I know I'm gonna work it out, and it does, you know get down to what you choose to do. And are your choices aligning with your values? Are they aligning with your beliefs? And if it is, that eliminate a lot of drama and the trauma that we go through, because we're learning to communicate who we are. We're learning to be true to who we are, because that was never a thing for a long time. You know, this is
Right,
something new. So we
right,
kind of
right.
late in the game. So for the kids coming up behind us, it's a real thing of being true to yourself and learning how to take on responsibility, personal accountability, and the impact you have on others. Just because you know you grown can do with everything. If you hurting someone else, you got to take that in accountability. And because you think it don't hurt, if they're telling you it hurt them, you have to be responsible for that. You know, and so we have to. That's one thing, and you kind of wrapped it up. Is in the beginning, you know, the main things that we want to do to move in harmony and respect of one another is number one, you know, define our relationship values. What does it mean? You know, now we can go into any relationship, new relationship, knowing this information and not learning it when we not getting it and we hurt and broken.
Right,
You know, so now
right,
we can have
right,
those
right.
conversations that we didn't have, that those relationships, you know, came about because the connection, the physical connection, and you know the time been spent out there. But we ain't knowing what we want. We just know this feels good, and we can be together. It can happen, and it can work. Sometimes it works. Sometimes people have forever, and then sometimes it's not. But we definitely have to reflect on, you know, what love is, what our self-worth is, and what our partnership mean in a relationship. And then the communication, that has to be a priority. We have to be communicate with honesty about who we are. And if you don't know, you need help. Because it's not fair for someone for you to figure it out. And so when you're figuring it out and you're not at a place to tell someone that needs that, now that's kind of where the seed and manipulation come in there. And that's not what we're trying to do. So we got to be honest in that and practice our accountability. So that's the
Hey, like my wife used to tell me, just tell me the playbook so I
period.
can know what plays to run.
So we can be doing the same thing. Okay, we're gonna take a moment. This has been a great conversation, Robin. I'm so glad that you came on here and shared what you have, because whether you know it or not, you know, you gave us a lot uh, to reflect on and to understand about, you know, growth, maturity, and living in your truth. And that is what embodying the essence of love is all about. We can't be our best self if we ain't loving ourselves and we not living it authentic with who we are. It's impossible.
Most
So
definitely,
let's
most
see.
definitely.
We're
Totally
gonna go to
agree.
the comments real quick here and just kind of touch base with our audience, and then we can wrap up. Let's see.
Well, y'all can ask me any questions y'all
Open
want to. I'm an open
book.
book.
You got the man with the plan. Let's give us a little tune while we get through this. I be liking your
Baby,
concert.
hold on to me. Sweet of a special
Hey,
kind. No, that is hard to find. Told you 1,000 times. Baby, hold on to
hey.
me.
Yes, appreciate it. So they're loving our conversation, classmate.
I think I think a lot of people can take a lot from
Mhm.
both sides. You know, some people might not agree with how I feel, but
Yeah.
they can understand.
And-
You know, and they might not, because at some point I wasn't
Mhm.
there yet. You know what I'm saying? I had to really sit. Sometimes when you lonely and you don't lost
Mhm.
everything, you sit and reflect. You sit and reflect. You know, because as a man, when you used to come home to a family every day for the last 25 years, and then you walk into a place and it's just you. Honestly, when I first did that, walked in my own place and it was just me, I
Aw.
broke down and cried like a baby, because you know what I'm saying. And I don't cry for many things, but because I was so used to the family
Mhm.
dynamic, and I know I'm the one who tore that
Mhm.
apart. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame nobody. I take 100% accountability for my situation. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm happy. She happy. Kids happy. We good. Everybody happy. So you know what I'm saying? Everything worked itself out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it didn't end the way we
Mhm.
wanted it to end, but you know we
And that's
cool.
what
We
matters,
cool.
being able to, you know, give that grace, and you our family still regardless. So I love it when, you know, even though
Oh
the
yeah.
relationship don't work out, when it's kids and that's that much time, you know, You're still family. It's still love and respect there.
Right. Most definitely.
Okay, I
Most
agree
definitely.
that all men are not meant to be monogamous. It's fully dependent on preference and compatibility. Amen. Absolutely.
Amen. Hawthorne. Amen. Amen.
And when you just know when you know what you know, then you gotta make decisions based on that. When a person tell you, you know who they are, they show you. Whether they tell you or they show you. If they show you and they tell you, you absolutely have to accept it. And if you are you not able to accept it, then you gotta know that is on you. You know, and that's something you gotta work out because you are accepting someone for who they are.
And I will say, I wish I was more honest and more, my
Mm-hmm.
communication line was more open instead of just blinking my eyes, hoping it'll go away. That's what most men blinking, hope
Mm-hmm.
it go away, hope whatever the situation is don't get out there. But at the end of the day,
Not
what
gonna
they
come
say, what's done in
to
the
the
dark
light.
gonna
Yes,
come in the
sir.
light.
It
It's gonna
most
come to
certainly
the
is.
light. It's gonna come to the light at the
Come
end
to
of
the
the
light,
day.
Caroline. So you gonna have to
Hmm.
deal with it one
Yes,
way or the
indeed.
other. And even if it's not, like, life has a way of humbling you, it has a way
It
of
does.
maturing you, whether you want to or not. And that's just the way it is. So you may think you're getting away with something, but you are going to, have to deal with that in some shape, form, or fashion. I believe that. So you just
You
try to be,
You ain't never getting away with it, because at the end of the day, because every time you do something, Jen,
mhm.
as kids, I'm gonna do this. Ooh, I got away with it. Now I'm gonna do something extra. Ooh, I got away with it. Not knowing the whole time, Mama already know what
Right.
I'm doing. She just ain't said. She just ain't said nothing yet. Just ain't said nothing yet. She just building her case
Absolutely.
against before she come out with that belt. And that's our relationship is. You steady doing stuff, thinking you getting away with it, but the whole time they know
Mhm.
they just ain't showed
And
their
it's
cards yet.
gonna get you eventually. I don't think there's no peace, when you are doing stuff that you know not right. Cause for one, if you
Right,
had and you
right,
know it ain't right, so you ain't got no peace in there.
right, right. Whenever you got a lie to cook up a lie, you in
Right.
trouble.
And you gonna be lying after lying. Shoot, I ain't gonna be able to do too much. I'm gonna be like, what? This is what it's
This ain't fucking. Just leave it alone. Just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to talk about it no more. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it no more. You got me. You got me. You got me.
okay. So okay, let's see. The brother has some, but you answering. I think you're answering her questions that she had, Doretta. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And see, this is the thing. We all try to put on a lifestyle to try to
Mm-hmm.
impress other people. To try to show people, oh, we this perfect relationship and this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got issues. And your issue, somebody issues might cause somebody to go step out of a relationship because you might not feel like you being
Mm-hmm.
respected at your house. But somebody else in the street showing you, which they doing it because they trying to get something. They don't got your best
Mm-hmm.
interest in mind. But we
Oh yeah,
emotional creatures.
I'm
You
definitely
know what I'm saying? We
emotional.
we emotional creatures. Right. So we going after the first thing that done made us happy, done made us feel all woozy
That
and
instant
tickly on the inside.
gratification, and that's just for a short time, not for
Am
a
I
long
am
time.
I gonna am I gonna go home and argue? Or I'm gonna go over here and
Now
Netflix and chill.
see, that's cheating. That's why it's cheating, cause you cheating having fun while the other person at home drove. That's exactly why it's called cheating. It ain't no parachute. I gotta go out through all this. Well, you can't go off and have no fun. And then the other person
Right,
ain't got no
right.
problem. They ain't got to worry about it. They don't get to deal with all of that. But y'all got to get to go off and have
Most
some
definitely.
fun. No, sorry, Bob.
Most definitely.
But no,
Most
it's all
definitely.
good. It's all about growing, So That's great. And we're going to see my baby send me some stars. You can all send some stars if you're loving the live chat. But please send me some stars.
Hey y'all, let's all support. Let's all support Jen's chat. I mean, she's very informative. Let's get more people on. Anybody want to get on live with her? If you have a
Yes,
topic you want to talk about, let's get on. Let's talk about it. Let's
yes.
help one another because a lot of people got different opinions. A lot of
Hmm.
people live different lifestyles that somebody might not agree with that somebody else might agree with that we
Right.
might not know. Because because it's a lot of stuff that goes on in this world that we don't know about. So support Jen's podcast. Let's get on. Let's make her
Thank you.
blow up.
Thank
She's speaking knowledge, speaking good stuff. So
you.
bring your friends, bring your families. Let's get on and support her. She was having a time. And, I catch her podcast every now and then, but the one last week kind of intrigued me. So I'm like,
And
Jen, put me on your
I
podcast this week.
appreciate it.
We need to
I
have a
love the
conversation.
engagement and I love to have a conversation, with someone. Like I say, it's all about perspective. We all different. We all bring a unique, point of view. And it's about expecting and sharing, what we know. And maybe it can help someone. And that's what we need because so many people feel alone. And just to be able to look back and see what we're saying can help lighten someone's burden or help, to give someone a breakthrough. So yes. Please join me. You're welcome to come back anytime, about anything. And I'm gonna see if we can arrange Doretta to get on here.
Oh yeah, I need to see Miss Doretta.
And see if we can have that conversation. So again, thank you so much. And because, I believe in love, regardless. And it ain't all just romantic, love is real love, It's that love that
Right,
has
right, right.
compassion and understanding and that forgiveness, even if it's forgiving yourself, because we are love. You are love, Kendall. I'm love. God is love. And we definitely can change the world with love. So thank you all for joining in. Until next time, Ginger's Love is signing out. Bye, everyone.
Everybody join in next Monday to Gender Love,
Yeah,
7 o'clock Central
there you
Time,
go.
baby.
There you have it. Class of 97. Signing out. Bye, peace.